Welcome to the end of being alone inside your mind. You're tethered to another and you worried all the time.
His questions. He's like, what are you going to say? I was like, I don't know. He's like,
I don't
let's
know.
make some notes.
Well, some of it can be,
Yeah. I mean, it got me thinking. They're really good questions. So,
fly by the seat of your pants. It's funny too, like listening to everyone's answers. It's really very enjoyable. And it's a great way to get to know people that I actually already know very well.
yeah. Yeah. I know. I think they're great.
I think it's fun. Okay, so today I will read your bio.
Okay.
So today we have Sarah Gibbons, who is actually a family member of mine, and stellar human being. And here is her bio from her website. After more than a decade of pioneering the tech business economy in both North America and Europe for companies like Amazon, IMDb, and Fox Interactive Media, Sarah Gibbons became hungry for a different kind of fulfillment. As a new mother and highly successful corporate executive, she moved from London back to the US to complete her master's in spiritual psychology. Not long after obtaining her master's, Sarah began Sarah Gibbons & Co., a global coaching practice for organizations and individuals looking to experience transformational leadership. Now, 15 plus years later, and having worked with notable top executives and creatives from Pinterest, the LA Clippers, Goodby, TBWA, Chiat Day, the Whites Foundation, and many more, Sarah has expanded her team to bring on world-renowned executive coach and consultant Tashian McCone. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Tashawn Macon rhymes with bacon.
Tashawn Macon rhymes with bacon. That's a fabulous name. And launched a podcast, the Title Podcast. Sarah has also co-authored a book as an executive contributing writer for Brains Magazine and has headlined numerous events as an inspirational speaker. Sarah is also the VP of the Symphony Guild for the Seattle Children's Hospital.
Seattle Children's Hospital.
I remember going to your event years ago. That was really, really fun. And you're still doing it.
We are on our 24th year.
Wow.
And the event is happening November 10th. And we actually just had our kickoff call last week. Years ago, before Mateo and I had, who found it before we both had kids, we would have a kickoff like 6 months out. Now we're 6 weeks out and having a kickoff. That doesn't sum it up.
You've got it down.
Yes.
Perfect. So I sent you all of these questions in advance, but I'm also going to ask you an icebreaker that I did not send you in advance. So you'll have to be a little bit on your toes for this one, but not really. So here's a question. What is something you are proud of that you did recently?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see.
You can take a moment to think about it if you need to. And it can be literally anything.
Well, okay. Not about this time last year, although I think it was probably closer to October. John, my husband, came to me and said, what do you think about moving down to Costa Rica for 6 months? And my internal response was, holy hell, how are we going to pull that off? We have 3 boys in 3 different schools. But at the same time, I was like, yes, let's do that. We haven't lived abroad in over 10 years. We've been stateside. So I said, if you are willing to handle all the logistics, like getting the boys into school, finding a place to live, finding us a car, because we need some sort of transportation, I'm assuming, then let's do it. And so he did. He did an incredible job, and we pulled it off, and we lived down in Guanacaste, Pacific side of Costa Rica, for 6 months and put the boys in an international school down there and really experienced a totally different way of living. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm still so jealous that you got to do that. The whole time you were there, I was dying to get down there, and I'm furious that I was not able to make it happen. But
I know.
Next time.
We might be back. We might be going back at some point, I hope. Some point.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, good answer, because that was a big one. That one took a lot.
It did take a lot. And I think I forget even, because we've now been back for 2 months, and the boys are back in school, and I run my own business, and John's working quite a bit, and trying to maintain some resemblance of the way in which we were showing up down there here is really challenging, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Some days I succeed. Other days I totally crash and burn.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We do our best every day, right? That's all we can do. Okay, so I have your first question for you. What is your favorite TV show or movie you have watched recently?
Well, okay, I'm going to be really truthful here. I have two, and I felt a little bit silly saying the first one.
No.
So I'll give you both. So the first one is Lincoln Lawyer, because my parents kept saying how great it was. And of course, when your parents give you a recommendation, you're like, oh, I don't know about that. However, they kept going on about how great it was, and I do love a good mystery. And so I cranked through that, and God, I even had moments of like, maybe I should have been an attorney for, big crimes like that. That was really, really enjoyable. But then the other one that I watched that a girlfriend of mine told me about that I just loved was that Netflix show Longest Breath, that movie that's
I haven't
all
heard of
about,
either
oh
of
my
these.
God.
Lincoln
Okay.
Lawyer. Now, what is Lincoln Lawyer on? What service is Lincoln Lawyer on?
Lincoln Lawyer's Netflix,
Netflix. Okay, and then
and
on Netflix too.
then Longest Breath is Netflix, and it opened my eyes to this sport called free diving. Do you know what that is?
Oh yes, that's
Oh my God.
terrifying.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
It's so scary.
So scary. And I just loved everything about it. I mean, first of all, I learned something new about a sport that I had no idea about. It is so dangerous. So I loved that these athletes were like on the edge of their own, courage. And then it blows my mind because it's another example of like what the human body is totally capable of when you train your mind and you commit physically. And so I don't want to give anything away, but it is a must watch.
Oh, okay. I'm adding both of those to my list. I haven't heard of
Yeah.
either of them, and I love hearing about something that I haven't heard about.
I can't believe that you didn't hear my mom talking about Lincoln Lawyer.
I
How
can't
did you
believe
miss that?
because I'm sure that her sister has been talking.
Uh-huh.
So I should be hearing about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I've got
Yeah.
two new things to watch now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Very good answer. So second question, what is a new or favorite book that you've read?
Okay. I love biographies and memoirs, and I loved the book Broken Horses by Brandy Carlisle. As you
Oh,
know, I am a huge Brandy Carlisle fan. I like to
Yep.
claim I'm like one of her early adopter fans because she used to play at a bar right next to my house called the Paragon on top of Queen Anne Hill about 20 years ago. And there'd be like four of us in there watching her play. Anywho, she wrote this book, Broken Horses, and everything about it is exquisite. The storytelling, it's witty. It's the story of what it's like to be an outsider. And I think I actually had John, my husband, listen to this book because I was just so enamored with it. And I think the other thing that blew my mind is that someone who is such an incredible musician could then take her craft into a completely different medium and be as impactful and incredible as she is as a singer. All right. So
great one. That one's
Broken,
actually on my
yeah.
list.
Yeah, it is a must read, and you want to actually do the Audible because she sings a song in between each chapter,
Oh,
a cappella style.
wow. That's good to know.
Yeah, a cappella style, is that what you say? Or without a guitar?
Like without music. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a must read.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to
Yeah.
know. I love an Audible.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot
I
of
know.
audiobooks. It's my favorite. Okay, follow up to that. If you wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
So I've been kicking around the name of a book named Only. And as you know, we have this in common.
Mhm.
And it first started off as really the perspective of being an only child and what that's like. But as I've grown and become a bit wiser as I near 50, one of the things that I notice, both in my work, but also with friends, is that you don't have to be an only child to feel lonely or on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of the things that I think that I've learned over the years is that at the heart of all of us is we just crave a sense of belonging. But I still really like the name Only.
Oh,
It's
an amazing,
simple,
that's
it's
an amazing
punchy, it's
title.
short. So that's
Yep.
a little bit about what I think it would be, but I still just love that title.
It's a great title.
It's a work in progress, working title.
Yeah. No, I mean, it took me, my whole life, obviously being an only child, I thought that some of the times the reason I was lonely was because I was by myself. And then when you get older, you realize
right.
you can be very lonely while surrounded by a lot of people.
Yes.
And it's not just geography, it's a lot of other things.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I think it's one of those things that it starts off as an only child. And even when you hear people sort of make comments like, oh, well, they're an only, I think that there's so much more to that. I think that yeah, like it's exactly what you said. Like you find yourself in these situations or relationships and you're like, why am I feeling so on the outside and alone?
Mhm.
And it actually has nothing to do with being an only.
Yeah. Yeah. It just
So,
has to do with being a person, I think. And I think
yeah,
we all are kind of dealing with that in different ways as we get older.
very much so. Very much so.
Okay, great answer. Next
Thank
question.
you.
What is something you wish you had done more when you were younger?
Oh, I was a rule follower.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I would have been a little more mischievous and a little more curious. I think even though my parents were certainly aware of what I was doing, I didn't feel like they were crazy strict. I feel like it was more just my own wanting to get it right and follow the rules. And when I look at my three boys, one who's a little more rule follower than the other two, like they have a lot of fun, those two that don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I just think it, maybe I don't, it's not that I feel like I didn't have a fun childhood, but I don't know, maybe I'd have even more stories to tell.
Yeah, it's interesting because coming out of the pandemic, I had two kids in high school. And one question that somebody asked me that I hadn't really thought about when they went back to school was, they missed out on a year and a half of high school shenanigans. Do you think that that's going to affect them socially as they move forward? And I was like, God, I hadn't even thought about the fact that that was a year and a half that they could have been, doing teenager things, that they weren't doing teenager things.
Yeah.
They were hanging out with me. And luckily they're okay. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of kids during that period of time, and a lot of us that were more cautious when we were younger, didn't really run into as many of those shenanigan situations. And now that we're older, I find now that I'm older, I'm kind of like wanting to get into more trouble, but I don't have the time or the space. And it also has, but the bar is higher for consequences, right? So
Yes.
I can't just throw caution to the wind and get in my car
No.
and drive to Mexico tonight. Like I have too many
I
things.
know.
I
know. It was like, why are we in such a rush to go be responsible and figure out what it was we wanted to do? And I just think when I look back, there could have been, it just would have been fun to break the rules. And I guess when I say break the rules, more like the rules that I had set out for myself or the expectations that I had for myself.
Well, and it is expectations. I mean, having a kid in college now and a kid that's getting ready to go to college, I keep telling them, you don't have to make every decision right now, because you have to declare now. When you go into college, they want you to declare like right out of the gate. And I'm like, look, you can change it. If you get there and you don't want to do what you're doing, do something else. Even after you graduate, even after you get a master's degree, even after you go to law school, even after you do whatever, if you decide it's not for you, it's not for you.
That's nuts that they have to declare now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's bananas.
I mean,
yeah, it's a whole thing. The whole thing is a mess. But yeah, it's just an added layer of pressure that nobody needs when you're 17.
I mean, life's hard. I mean, you're just trying to figure out what you're going to wear that day.
Right. Right. And how to, navigate all these other things that are happening because there's a lot. Okay. So what is a nonprofit or organization that you're passionate about? Obviously, we know you're passionate about the project that you work on in Seattle, but what else?
Gosh. I have to say, I've spent so much time with Seattle Children's. One thing, well, I'll just say I've spent so much time with Seattle Children's, and I think that's really has had my heart for a long time, and it still does. And the work there is really to support parents who have children who get diagnosed with some sort of illness, and really to support them financially, because what people don't realize is insurance ends up not covering hardly
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
And families can go totally upside down. But one thing that we got into when we were down in Costa Rica, two of my boys are major animal lovers. And so we got into going to this local shelter a couple times a week and bathing the puppies and walking the dogs. And that was really fulfilling and not something that I had really ever spent time doing, because we have our own pets. But it really opened my eyes to how much support our animals need, and how I always knew that getting animals spayed and neutered was important, but
Mhm.
after seeing it,
Yeah.
that was huge. And then another one that's important to me, and hold on, Mary Kay, because I want to get the name right.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so before I left for Costa Rica, I got involved in this really cool nonprofit that's called Every Mother's Advocate. And one of the things that I really loved about it is that you're on the front line. So they train you, they have a curriculum, and you basically take a mother every week through their curriculum that really trains them up how to be more empowered, how to be more financial conscientious, and really helps them in parenting. And a lot of these moms that I was volunteering and taking through the curriculum, either children were on the brink of being put into foster care, or they were in foster care and they were looking to get them back. And so it completely opened my eyes, one, to the system and how difficult it is once your child is in the system.
Mhm.
But then also, it was so eye-opening how much these moms and I had in common,
Mhm.
and that regardless of ethnicity, financial situation, that the same things that I struggle with day in, day out, they struggle with. And
Yeah.
what I really think the big difference was is like just dumb luck. Some
Sure.
of them had made some choices that put them in those situations, but most of them were it just feels like one coincidence, one situation after another that got them there. And so anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back into that program. It's one of those things where I've done a lot of volunteer work over the years, and it's sometimes there's a season in life where it might be easier to donate money or show up once in a blue moon. But this is one of those programs where they like you to do it every week, and so you really build a relationship, and it feels fulfilling. You are on the front lines. And so anyway, it's a really awesome program for moms. And as I'm speaking about it, I'm like, yeah, I got to email Nicole and tell her I'm back and I want to get back into it.
No, I think there's a huge power, and that's kind of part of what I was going with this podcast, is the idea that we're all a lot more similar than we think we are. And
Yes.
just as people. And so often I think, when we do have bigger conversations about politics and whatnot, one of the things that happens, and I had a conversation with someone this week that was just like this, there's sort of an us and them mentality,
Mhm.
right? That divides people from being able to think outside their bubble.
Mhm.
Just because
Mhm.
an issue doesn't affect you personally doesn't mean there aren't millions of people out there that are being affected by it that would appreciate your support. It doesn't
Yes.
have to, step into your life for you to say, you know what, I'm going to step up and help
Mhm.
people or
Mhm.
involve myself in this issue, even though maybe it's not something that would involve me personally ever. So it's interesting, and I think it's great that it gives the opportunity for you to actually get to know people and realize, especially as parents, like we're all just trying to get through the day, man. And,
So
on
true.
different levels with different kids and in different ways. And
Mhm.
parenting can be really divisive, I feel like.
Mhm.
I feel
Mhm.
like there were a lot of parents growing up. There's a lot of judgment and
Mhm.
a lot of insecurity that goes along with
Mhm.
it. And so being
Mhm.
able to sort of like be vulnerable with someone about that is really wonderful and empowering.
Yeah, that was one thing that the moms, I've worked with several moms in this program, and the one thing they said is the curriculum was amazing, but they said, I haven't had a place to come and just share what's going on
Mhm.
and not be judged and just have someone hold it as if it was their own
Yeah.
and just sit along the side. And I think we all need that. But anyway, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. And boy, are we all more alike than we like to think we are.
Yeah. Yeah. On a very basic level, you know.
Awesome. Mhm.
Okay, next question. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, my superpower. If I could have a superpower, let's see. I feel like I'm often saying, I wish I could just like click my heels and beam over, transport myself to London. We used to live there and have a walk through a park with one of my girlfriends, or click my heels and be in New York. I have a dear friend who's going through just stage 4 breast cancer, and I got to see her last week, and I would just go sit with her, or like go see my
Mhm.
parents who don't live in LA. So my superpower would be being able to transport myself like in moments, be there and then come back for family dinner and watch
Yeah,
some Netflix and just be able to see all the people that we love that don't live in my home, that don't live in LA.
right, right. And it's interesting. I'm interested to see as this goes along because other people have used that example as well. And I feel like as we get older, we know more people in more places, especially
Yeah.
now, with the internet the way that it is. And it would be great to be able to pop over here and have lunch with someone and pop over here and check on someone else.
Hmm.
It's funny how coming out of a pandemic, I sort of expected people to be less interested in connecting in
Hmm.
person with people, because I
Hmm.
do know a lot of people who are just happy to like have a Zoom with someone overseas and that's enough connection for them. But being able to like hug someone and sit with them and share a meal and have a moment is invaluable,
100%.
for
Totally.
all. Okay, follow up to that is what is your superpower?
Well, this is what so I hear, but as you know, I'm a leadership executive coach, and I spend my time with really creative leaders, both in the corporate world, but also entrepreneurs. And I think at the end of the day, based on what I've heard, that I help people remember who they are. Like I think as we go through seasons of life and we start to get into our 40s and 50s and older, we at times start to lose sight of who we really are and what really lights us up. And so my gifts are very much to help people remember who they are. And I have a lot of fun doing it.
That's a great superpower.
Yeah, it
It's
is
an
a good
important
one.
one, and
It
everyone
is an
needs that.
important.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think everyone needs it too, whether it's me or someone else. But I think it's important. I think we live in a world now where it's so noisy, particularly in the States. We are stretched so thin
Mhm.
because of the way the priorities set out in, at least in the US, with work being, life being all about work and then family and then relationships. Um, I do think it's so easy to lose yourself, especially if you layer on parenthood on top of that and you've got kids that are, like your age, where they're headed off to college or in college, and you're juggling all of that. Then all of a sudden you wake up and it's like, wait, what do I even enjoy?
Yeah. No, I'm
I
there
can't
right
remember.
now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
heading to that right now. Of like, what do I
Yeah.
don't even know what I like anymore or who I am.
What's
But
my favorite color? It's like
yeah,
the basics.
who knows? Hard to
Yeah.
say. Depends on the day. Okay, what is the last thing, song, podcast, book, that you listened to on your phone?
I really got into Bleachers when I was in Costa
Mhm.
Rica, and I love the song Roller Coaster. And when I put it on, I have these visions of when I would be driving the boys out to go surf, and we'd be driving past all these fields, and the sun would be setting. And I just had it on repeat. And so I'm still listening to it. It makes me quite nostalgic for the first half of the year, but I love them. Love that. I've never seen them live, but I love that particular song, but all their songs are amazing if you've never listened to them.
I love that about music because it can take you right back to somewhere.
Yeah.
You close your eyes and you're like, oh, I remember this thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Okay, I don't know if I have a favorite dinosaur, but let's just say if I were to come back as a dinosaur, I think I'd want to be a dinosaur that flies around because I'm a little scared of the other dinos. They just seem like really ferocious and loud, and like that I just feel like I'd be having to run all the time. They'd be like chasing me. And so I think if I could be soaring through the air, it just sounds a little bit more peaceful, and maybe I could swoop down into the water for a little swim and come back up. But I could kind of stay out of the riffraff. So I don't know, some sort of flying dinosaur.
That makes sense because dinosaurs are terrifying. And even if you're
And
one of
they're
the
loud.
yeah, you're like sitting eating your tree, just having a nice time. Someone's
Yeah.
gonna come bother you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So if I'm just up in the clouds, I can have a little peace and quiet.
That makes sense. That's a good one. Okay, what is a word you say too much?
What is a word I say too much? God, nothing's coming to mind. I mean,
That's good.
I can think of words that my kids say too much.
Are they
And my
words?
husband, well, this whole thing with ending a sentence with bro really is getting on my nerves.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's just my boys. I hear the girls doing it too. And, just that the whole younger generation. So while that's not my word, if I could get rid of a word, that would be the word.
The word bro. That's a good one. It's used a lot.
It's so bizarre to me. Or they
it's like
start a sentence
punctuation.
with bro. It's like punctuation.
Yeah.
Yes. It's unnecessary.
We're old.
I
We're having
know.
a very old conversation right
I
now.
know.
These kids and their bros.
I know.
I mean, it's inevitable. Okay, what is your favorite or desired celebrity sighting or person you'd like to meet?
If you'd asked me this probably 10 years ago, I'm sure I would have said, George Clooney or Brad Pitt or, some good looking, gorgeous actor. But now I don't know if I'm just tainted because I live in LA that I'm kind of like, ugh, those celebrities are just normal people.
Mm-hmm.
So no one comes rushing to mind, but I do think about, like, if I were to meet someone really interesting, like who's really interesting, I'd want to have a conversation with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was listening to Esther Perel's podcast the other day, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I speak 9 languages. And I'm like, who speaks 9 languages? How did you learn 9 languages?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think more along the lines of like, some of these stories of like people who survived Maui a month ago.
Sure.
I could sit and have a conversation with them, or Marrakesh 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a celebrity that comes to mind. Not saying that, when I do see celebrities, I don't get a bit starstruck. Of course I do. I'm human. But there's no one coming to mind, at least in this moment. I'll probably like wake up tonight and be like, why didn't I say so and so?
Well, if you do, you can message me and I'll add an addendum.
Yeah, and you can
post on the website.
I'll put a voice memo.
Sarah woke up and remembered the existence of Jason Momoa, and now she would like to add him on too. But there's so many people. There's just so many people, and there's so many great people doing amazing things that it's hard to know who would be the top person.
I mean, I definitely get really excited about creative people. Like even like if I could meet, Frank Lloyd Wright, someone who's like designed these incredible houses and buildings, or someone who's just been at the forefront of creativity. I mean, I work with a lot of those people, but there's so many more. Like that would totally juice me. But otherwise, I like meeting, this is why I think, I like People magazine. I love reading about ordinary people doing like incredible things. I guess that excites me more than a local celebrity.
Well, and there are a lot of them. There are a lot of very
So
amazing
many.
people doing fantastic things that are not getting the recognition they
Yeah.
deserve, or maybe they just don't want it. But
Mhm.
it's just fascinating, the people
Totally.
that you don't even know that you want to meet.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. What is your favorite type of sandwich or sandwich-like food?
My favorite kind of sandwich. I mean, I actually am really a sandwich girl. I like a lot of sandwiches.
I love a sandwich.
I do too. There is one sandwich I quite got into when we were living in London. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but you know, Pret a Manger, a really
Mhm.
fancy
Like the 7-Eleven
quick
of England.
yeah, basically. I'd like to say it's a little nicer than 7-Eleven,
It
but they
is.
do a Christmas sandwich that's real turkey, cranberry, stuffing on whole wheat
Mhm.
bread. And when that Christmas sandwich comes out, I mean, I was like every day
Yum.
until it was out. It was so good. I love it. And I've tried to recreate it. It's not quite the same, but I do love a good sandwich or with sprouts and iceberg lettuce, like real crunch.
Yep.
I
I
love
love
a good
iceberg lettuce
sandwich.
on a
I
sandwich.
know there's no nutritional value, but gosh, it's
Zero.
good.
But that crunch,
0.
I
That crunch is
mean,
everything.
like a BLT with iceberg lettuce.
Oh,
I mean,
sold all day long,
forget
all
it.
day,
Just nothing. Yeah. I'm with
all
you.
day.
I'm with you. I actually had a burger wrapped in iceberg lettuce the other night, and it was like a ton of lettuce. And at first I was like, this is too
Oh,
much lettuce. But then it was like, the big iceberg crunch.
so
Good.
good.
So good. So good. Well, this was amazing. You
I
answered the
love
question.
this.
You did it. Do you feel a sense of accomplishment? You got through it.
I love your questions. Like, I'm so curious what other people are going to say. It's not every day I get asked about my favorite dinosaur or who I'd want to meet. I mean, it's just fun to be in a conversation around things that aren't around logistics
Yeah.
and,
Well, I feel like
you
as we
know,
get
so
older, every conversation is exactly the same. You go to a party and it's like,
yeah.
oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do?
Mhm.
Oh, you have a finance job that I don't understand. Oh, great. We both work in nonprofit, whatever. But if you listen to children talk, they just run up to each other and they're like, which M&M is your favorite? And it's like, where did you get that? Why are you asking him that? But like, it's a good question, actually. Like, maybe. So, and that's where the dinosaur question came from. As I was watching something the other day, and some kid came running into the room, and was like, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" I'm like, That's a great
It's so
question.
true, though. It's
Because
so
when do I
true.
think about dinosaurs? I never think about dinosaurs.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Or your
Good.
favorite kind of sandwich. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant.
That's
And I
amazing.
think we're more alike than we think we are.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that, and what's fun about this too is like, you'll find, like I did today, you'll find new shows to watch, new books to read,
Yeah.
new
Get
questions
yourself,
asked next
I
time you're at a
know.
party. There you go.
I love it.
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
it.
I'll let you get back to your family,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
I'll
Yes,
see
they'll
you
be waiting for
soon.
me. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye, love.
They can keep their treasure and their ties to the machine. 'Cause I am the mother of Evangeline.